Issue 1. Whether an employer can be vicariously liable for the employee's criminal action. 2. Whether the employer can be vicariously liable when the trial judge failed to make any finding of liability for tort against the employee. These are the facts. The case involves GMP Kaiser Security, GMP, entering into a contract with North Metal Industrial to provide armed personal bodyguard services, with GMP employing Jafar as a personal bodyguard who was placed under North Metal's control. Jafar shot and killed .om and fired randomly at members of the public, injuring Amirul, who filed a claim against Jafar and GMP for vicarious liability. The High Court allowed the claim, and on appeal, the Court of Appeal found no appealable error and affirmed the trial judge's findings. The minority, however, disagreed, stating that Jafar's criminal acts were not authorized by his employer in the course of employment and that there was no clear finding of liability for a particular tort against the tortfeasor. GMP appealed the decision, dismissing the appeal. Jafar's action of discharging a firearm at a civilian, which resulted in grievous injury to Amirul, was an intentional wrongful act that could attract liability under both criminal and tort law. The trial judge's failure to label Jafar's action with a particular tort did not justify setting aside the judgment, as the important fact was that the action caused grievous injury to Amirul, which attracted tortious liability. Amirul only needed to prove the facts of his cause of action, which he had done to the required standard of proof. The scope of vicarious liability in cases where an employee commits an intentional wrong involves 4 common factors. 1. The intentional wrong must be committed by the employee while in the course of employment. 2. There must be a connection between the wrongful act and the nature of the employment. 3. The nature of the employment must expose the public at large to the risk of physical or proprietary harm, and 4. The risk must be created by the employer owing to the features of the business. Jafar was on duty as a personal bodyguard when he committed the wrongful act, and GMP had provided him with a firearm to perform his duty, creating a risk that exposed the public to potential harm. Vicarious liability is appropriate where there is a significant connection between the creation or enhancement of risk and the resulting wrong. In this case, Jafar's actions were closely connected with his employment as a bodyguard and were done in the course of executing his duties. The close connection test must be applied to the factual circumstances of each case. Therefore, GMP was vicariously liable for Jafar's wrongful act against Amirul. The courts were correct in their assessment of GMP's liability. To know more,